Good afternoon. Today I will discuss about transportation problems. Last three classes already have done like under LPP. We have seen how to solve LPP through graph method, through simplex method. Now this transportation problem is the part of the LPP. Or you can say subclass of LPP. Again, also there is another portion that is class assignment problems. That also comes under transportation problems, but again indirectly comes under LPP. As transportation coming under LPP, assignment also comes under linear programming problems. And these are Unit 4, Unit 1, 2, 3 you have covered. So in this transportation problems, what exactly we are looking for? We are using any transportation mode. The expenditure should be minimum. The transportation cost should be minimum. As you know, I have told you in LPP, always the objective function says about two things, either to maximize the function or to minimize the function. Again, also I have told you what are the function, when the objective you feel or you will face it is maximum, when you feel minimum. Like in the case of production, sales, revenue, profit, always it is maximum. Also, I have told you, in the case of expenditure, cost, or you talk about time, giving doses to patients, medicine doses, in this case, always it will be minimum. So here we are looking transportation problem is in the form of transportation cost. And when you are discussing about cost, always it should be minimum. It cannot be maximum because if we are going to spend a lot in transportation, obviously it hamper to the profitability, profit decreases. So always we'll be trying how the transportation cost can be minimized. So that is the main part of the main objective of this transportation problems. Now let us read what exactly the meaning of this. It is the subclass of LPP and what terms will be coming across in this transportation problems. We'll be facing the terms like supply with the combination of demand, availability with the combination of requirement, capacity with a combination of requirement. So these are the terms will be coming across face any type of transportation problem, always these are the terms will come. And always you have to compare the sum of the supply should be equal with sum of the demand, or else sum of the availability should be equal with sum of the requirement. Or if capacity requirement given, you have to compare how the sum of the capacity is equal to sum of the requirement or not. Right? So always the transportation problem says the data coming to you that will express through a matrix form. So in one side it will be supply, one side will be demand. We'll see by example, but these are the theory you should know that these are the terms will be coming across while solving the transportation problems. So always the supply will be given the form of row. Your demand always will be given the form of column. So always will have a comparison with supply demand or availability requirement or capacity requirement. So what is your focus? The focus is always to minimize the transportation cost. Like as you have seen mathematical formulation of LPP, here also there is a mathematical formulation of transportation problems. As you know, always in LPP we have three stages. One is objective function, one is subjected to constraint, one is non-negative constraint. Always objective function come in the first step. As I said just before, always the function will be in minimum form, it cannot be maximized. So I have written there minimize z or minimum z is equal to double summation. I have used one for row, one for column. The summation I is equal to 1 to m, summation j is equal to 1 to n, Cij, Xij. See this one, the minimize z or minimum z, whatever you write, or sometimes a symbol may be used like this. Mean z. So don't be confused. So mean z or minimize z or minimum z, function name is z, but the z function should be the minimum form. Why? Because the transportation case matters. And here you have taken double summation. This is summation number 1 and this is summation number 2. The first summation linked with row, second with column. Because we are going to put in the form of matrix. So Cij, Xij, as you know, I have told you in LPP, although the objective function is max or mean z is equal to Cx. But in place of Cx, Cx is there, but you are writing the suffix is Ij, Ij. Why? I stands for row, J stands for column. Then coming to middle part, subjected to constraint. Also I have told you in general format of LPP, x less than equal to is equal to greater than equal to b. It is somehow similar, but the expression is different. Why? Because they are putting in matrix form. So how to remember it? When the summation varies from j is equal to 1 to n, remember it, I always vary from 1 to m. J is always 1 to m. Xij, x stands for variable as you know, is equal to ai. And I will be 1 to m. The reverse is when you are putting summation I is equal to 1 to m xij, see xij, xij means same. But this summation talks about j is equal to 1 to n, this is I is equal to 1 to m. When you are writing j is equal to 1 to n, here you have write ai, because j always has a link with b, I is always linked with a. The summation j is equal to 1 to n, xij is equal to ai, and I always varies from 1 to n. Like, let me show. Now what will come in this form? This is the form of what? M cross n. So there will be n number of rows. There will be n number of columns. Right? And as a third step, you know, always non-negative constraint. Non-negative constraint means whatever the value of the variable you are getting in the form of xij, always will be either positive or 0. But if I am getting negative, that is not accepted. Right? So always, you know, if you talk a matrix like this, so always, you know, in the form of row and column, so like x1, 1, noted, last will be x1n, the last will be xm1, this will be xmn. So what happened here? X11 means it is the value of the variable which is present at the position 1, 1. Xmn means the position of value of the variable which is present at the position mn, m rows, n column. Now coming to the next slide, how to solve LPP? What are the steps for solving it? What are the steps solving for TP transportation problems? So always you have to check whether TP is balanced or not. How to know? Now summation of supply should be equal with summation of the demand, or sum of the supply is equal to sum of the demand. Let me show an example at a time you can understand. Now this example where it is given capacity this side. I told you one side capacity, one side requirement. The capacity means given the form of row, first row, this is second row, this is third row, this is first column, second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column. Now here we have a 3 factories and we have a 5 retail shop. What is the objective? You are sending the items of the what it is given like product. The product you are sending after production from the factory, we are sending to different retail shop. Like if you talk about this one, it says 1 unit of product you are sending from factory 1 to retail shop 1. 9 means 9 unit of product you are sending from factory 1 to retail shop 2. What is the meaning of 16? The corresponding value is 2 here, here it is 3. So from factory 2 you are sending 16 unit of product to the retail shop 3. So the movement is from factory to retail shop. The movement is from, let me show, it is from factory to retail shop. If you talk about like this one, what it shows, now from second factory to fifth retail shop, you are sending 1 unit. Like this, the values are given. At factory 1, the capacity of the product, we can produce maximum 50 units. At factory 2, the maximum capacity production possible is 100 units. At factory 3, the maximum production will be 150 units. What is the sum of the capacity here? The sum of the capacity is 300 units. But the requirement should be same. The question is why it should be same? Because if mismatch happens, that affect transportations. Let your supply is more, demand is less, obviously will be lost. When the requirement is more, supply is less, I mean what the mode of transportation adapting, that will, like for example, you are using like a truck or something like that, lorry or big truck you are using, but the requirement is more, but you have sent less supply. So some places are vacant in that transportation mode, the truck or whatever, the train or whatever you are using. As you know, in transportation, you have a different ways of transportations. Like when you're studying operation management or production operation management, always we believe when you think of transportation, we have a three ways of transportation. One is roadways, one is railways. Road rail is almost same, but one is roadways, one is waterways, one is airways. If you talk about roadways, always you follow or always you believe the mode of truck, something like that, or maybe through train. If you talk about waterways, you are taking the help of sea. Or if you talk about airways, you are using the different aeroplane mode vehicle, right? Similarly, at the first retail shop, the requirement is 100 unit. At the second retail shop, this is the requirement, or you can say demand. At third retail shop, requirement is 50 unit. Fourth shop, requirement is 50 units. Fifth shop, requirement is 40 units. What is the sum of the requirement? 300. What is the sum of the capacity? 300. And it is called balanced. It is called, let's check the first. Check TP is balanced or not. How to know? The first, you check whether sum of the supply or sum of the capacity is equal to sum of the requirement or not. If not balanced, how to know? I mean, if you feel both are unequal, then you have to add a dummy row or dummy column to the above matrix or given matrix with the adjusted unit to make it balanced. So, by example, you can understand it. Check this question. Here in this case, the total requirement is 1100 warehouse, 1100, requirement is 1100, 300 plus 306 plus 5 1100, whereas the available is 800. The supply or available is 800. Okay. Now, which side is less? The available side is less. How much less? 300 unit less. If 300 unit less and available present in the row side, the extra row you have to add. That is called dummy row. Dummy row means what? You have to take extra row where the entries or the elements will be 00, where what extra you require that you have to write in the side of this column or row. I mean here you are filling a deficit of what? Row side. With row side the available 10, first row side the available is, I mean at plant A the available amount is 300 unit. At plant B the available amount is 500 units. But the requirement at the first warehouse is 300, second warehouse 300, third warehouse 500. The total requirement is 1100, whereas the total supply is 800. So extra, how much to supply? 300. The supply are taken the form of row, as I have told you, as I have said to you, always remember to put extra row. That is called dummy row. You have to check. Dummy row you have taken, but all these entries are 000. Where the extra requirement, how much that you have written here, which are sometimes called unsatisfied demand. This why you are taking, because unless you are making it balance, so you cannot solve it. Just a minute. Excuse me. Now, once the problem is balanced, I mean, some of the supply is equal to some of the demand or some of the availability is equal to some of the requirement, then you can go for solving the problems. The simultaneously let me show the theory. Having a theory of the problems, you can understand better. Okay. Now, if not balance, add a dummy row. Sorry, add a dummy row. I forgot to write there, add a dummy row or a dummy column to the given matrix with the adjusted unit. I mean, the example I have shown to you, the extra deficiency was what, 300 unit. So that 300 unit you have to write, you have to adjust. Which side? Available side, to make it balanced. Now once you made it, check again also. Check. The extra is 300 you have taken here. This side 1100 means of course this side is 1100. So if this side less, you have to put a dummy row. But if this side is less, requirement side is less, you have to put an extra column. That is called dummy column. Right? For example, late, this side is 1100, this side is 1000. Late, I am saying. If it is 1000, there is a requirement another 100 extra. So you have to write here unsatisfied what? Like what? Or you can have a dummy warehouse where you put all the entries are 000 with the extra requirement is 100 that you have writing below here. I mean, the ultimate objective is both sides should be equal. Then you can go to the third step. Then you can go for finding basic feasible solution. Otherwise, you cannot find the basic feasible solution. Check. So once it is done, then you have to go for finding the BFS. What is BFS? The basic feasible solution. This is called what? Basic feasible solution. By using the methods, you can apply NWC rule, northwest corner rule. You can apply least cost method or matrix minima method. You can apply VA method. But mathematician always suggested use VA method. Why VA method? Because VA method gave always, just a minute, VA method always give the list value, this one, remember. Though by all the method you can solve it, you can find the BFS, but by using this method always the total cost will be minimum. Maybe sometimes it may be equal with other, but almost all time it cannot be maximum than these two. Either it will be minimum compared to these two or maybe equal. But there is no chance by using VA method we will be getting a lesser value of transportation cost. So this is called northwest corner rule. This is called least cost method or smallest cost method. It is also called matrix minima method. Why matrix minima? When the matrix what elements are there, among this which one minimum that will be considered. Proceed, you can understand. Now in this matrix, let me tell you. Here, starting from 1 to 26, these are called unit transportation cost. Remember it. They are called what? Unit transportation cost. Unit transportation cost. All these starting from 1 to 26. So, if you talk about transportation cost, what it can be? It can be the form of rupees, or if you talk about Indian, it's rupees. Other country like other currency will be adapted, right? Like for example, remember it. So these are always unit. These are transportation cost. Like I forgot to tell you, this one means not 1 unit, it's 1 rupees. Starting from first factory to this factory. If you send 1 unit, you have to pay rupees 1 per unit. Like factory 1 to factory 2, if you send the item, you have to pay rupees 9 per unit. These all are called unit transportation cost. Remember it, these all are called unit transportation cost. These are all. Right? But these values are unit. What is unit? The unit can be anything. It can be trip, it can be ton, it can be quintal, it can be any unit form. But these are all cost. I mean, if you talk about one, let for example this one means the position is C11. C stands for cost. The cost at the position 11 is rupees 1. What about 9? 9 stands for C12. C12 means the cost at the position first row second column. What is 13? The cost at the position first row third column. I mean first factory with third details of. Like this, all the values are a number, right? But these sides are always uniform. Remember it. Now coming to the next slide. Previous slide again. Now, once the TP is balanced, then you have to check how many number of BFS possible. The number of BFS will be possible when it is balanced is m plus n minus 1. What is m? M stands for number of rows. N stands for number of column or columns. What is 1? I mean number of rows plus number of column minus 1. That is the number of BFS you can expect from a balanced transformation problems. Like if you see this example, it is clearly balanced. In this case, how many rows you have? We have a 3 row. We have how many column? 5 column. So in this problem, you can expect 7 number of BFS. How? Now then 3 number of rows. Now the formula you want m plus n minus 1. M star number of rows, 3. Number of column is 5 minus 1. Nothing but 7 number of BFS you can expect from this. Now, so there may be chance sometimes you may feel degeneracy. What is the meaning of degeneracy? That when the TP is balanced, we are going to find the solutions. Sometimes the number of solution may not be equal with m plus n minus 1. It may be less than m plus n minus 1. And for example, this question, when you are expecting the number of BFS should be 7, let you got 6. 6 means what? That is less than 7. So less than 7 means let you got 6. So 6 less than 7. The moment the number of BFS is less than m plus n minus 1, then that is called degeneration. So if degeneration arises, there are other ways there by which it can be solved. I'll tell you later on. But hope you understand it. Now the next step is you have to find the optimal solution by using the methods like MPOO methods and one is stepping stone methods. Because once you get BFS at the value of Z, you cannot say that Z is the final answer. Whether it can be optimized or not, that can be checked through. There are 2 methods exist. One is a MPOO method, one is stepping stone methods. Just a minute. Sorry. So MPOO stands for modified distribution. MO stands for modified, D stands for distribution method. The one is stepping stone methods. Both methods are almost the procedure is same, but MPOO methods believe on is also called sometimes UV methods. Sometimes you can say the method is UV method. Small u, small v. UV stands for U stands for row, V stands for column. The row column methods. Stepping stone, it is all about by figuratively, by grammatically we are showing it. But this example I have told you clearly. Also, in this explanation it is given. The capacity of the factory is given 50. Already have explained it. The first factory capacity is 50, second factory capacity is 100, third is 150. That is given. And the quantity inside the broader rectangle, the matrix, all are transportation cost. I think I have told it. Now when you are writing X11, it says amount to be transported from factory 1 to retails of 1. Okay. See, when the question asks solve the TP means what? For example, this question comes and question asks solve the transportation problem. So your role is to find out the value of X, such a value of X where the cost for transportation will be minimum. Whereas the value of C112 up to C15 the data are C35 the data are given. C11 is 1 rupee, C12 is 9 rupees, C13 is 13, C14 36, C15 51, C21, C22, C34, C23, C24, C25, 31, 32, 34, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5. All these are equal cost. So what we are going to find out, now Z is equal to Cx, you know. So we have to find out ones, let for example C11, it should be what? X11. Like this you have to find out. But let us first find out where the X value is possible. So once you get X, the corresponding cost will be multiplied, then finally you can get the answer. What is the meaning of this X11, 1, 2 up to X35? The values are written. Like we talk about X35, the amount to be transported from factory 3 to retails of 5. Now I have told you in second step, once the TP is balanced, the next step is you have to find out BFS by using NWC rule, northwest corner rule. Let us see it by example again. Say this is called northwest corner rule, NWC. North as by direction. North direction always in top side. Then west we have to find out. Then corner point will be checked by which the BFS can come out. Let us see it. Same example you have taken here, but we have made it minimized. We have taken 2 factory, wrongly written factory 1, 2, whereas we have a 5 retails here. Total capacity is 250, the total requirement is 250. So when the question has solved the TP, the first step is you have to check it is balanced or not. Right, it is balanced. So if it is balanced, what is the next step? You have to find the BFS. But if you are finding BFS, we have 3 methods. Sorry, we have many more methods like as I said, NWC northwest corner rule. We have a list cost method. We have a BHA method. We have a row minimization method. We have a column minimization methods. But usually, like you are using 3 methods always: NWC, matrix minima method, list cost method, and BHA methods. Let us see first one by one how the NWC method can be adapted when the question is given. So before coming to this NWC, first you have to check it is balanced or not, and by default is balanced. Why? Because the sum of the capacity. Yeah, the sum of the capacity is just a minute. Yeah, the sum of the C stands for capacity is 250, whereas nothing but what? Sum of the requirement. So both are 250, so balanced. E balance, let us see how we can solve through northwest corner. So let me tell the rule. See all of you, I'm showing in the screen. See, table always this side is north, this side is west. The corner possesses what? 24. Now, you can think of how many BFS possible here, because once it is balanced, the number of BFS possible is what? 2 plus 5, number of rows is 2, row 1, row 2, number of column is, see, these are not coming under column. Though written the values, we have to look at the matrix only. And this is the matrix. Matrix means you talk about this one, this much, this to this. So how many rows exist? Now row 1, row 2. How many column? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the number of BFS will be m plus n minus 1. The number of rows is 2. Number of column is 5 minus 1, which is equal to 6. So we are expecting 6 number of BFS. Check. End of this, the solution has already come out. But how it will come, I will tell you. Check 1, x22 value is 50, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 values come. Let us say how it is. Also one by one. Sorry. This another is there also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 values should be there, and there is 6 values. Let us see how to find these values. Now, as by northwest corner rule, this is north, this is west, corner in the matrix is 24. Yes or no? Let me show, you can understand it. Here this is a matrix where the number of rows are 2 rows. Having how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here what written? 24. The corresponding to 24, what the capacity written? 100. The requirement is 50. Now among these two, which one minimum? 50 is minimum. If 50 is minimum, 50 will go to this cell as a BFS. As a BFS. How it is? I have to put a box here and write within a box 50. Now among this 50 and 100, which one minimum? The 50 is minimum. The 50 will go to this cell as a BFS and 50 will be subtracted from 100. Let me tell you, which side will be lesser? The lesser value will be subtracted from the other side from the higher values. So among the 50 and 100, as 50 is minimum, 50 will be subtracted from 100 here, right? Which gives 50. And the minimum side other cell will be cancelled. This column will be particularly cancelled. And at 24, the value will be written. Let me show another example, you can understand it otherwise. See this one, you can understand. Though it is the optimal test you are using stepping stone method, but before that, the first step is you have to find the BFS. Here by NWC, the value has found out. Let us see how it has found out. Here the sum both sides is equal, 1700, 1700. Now the northwest company for adapting, the minimum cost is what? 4. The corresponding capacity is 700, corresponding requirement is 400. Now among 700 and 400, which are minimum? The 400 minimum. This 400 will come to this cell as a BFS. I mean, in this cell, the C11 is 4, X11 is 400. And always you require there is a combination of what? Z is equal to Cx. But here in the form of matrix, Cij, Xij, we have written the formulation, always minimize Z is equal to summation. I is equal to a double summation. One is for row, one is for column, then Cij, Xij. Now, among this 400, 700, 400 minimum, so this side other two cell will be cancelled. I mean, this will be cancelled, this will be cancelled. This column is particularly cancelled. If cancel, and how many BFS you got now? Now 1. But in this case, how many BFS you should expect? Because if you consider this question, here there are 3 rows and there are 4 columns. But this is your matrix. 3 rows, 4 columns. So what will be the number of BFS? The 3 plus 4 minus 1 is 6. Check, there is 6 bracket there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But how to get? I'm just telling you. Now 400 you have written, and this 400 will be cancelled. This 400 will be subtracted from 700. It gives 300. And as this 400, 600 you have not used, you can copy this. And by default, both sides will be equal. Check. Now 450 plus 50 is 800 plus 5, 1300. Here also 3, 4, 700 plus 6, 1300. Now one column is completely out, whereas one BFS you got. Still you require another 5. Naked northwest corner. This is north, this is west, corner is 6th place. Corresponding to 6, the row side, the value is latest value of 10, 300. And this side is 450. Which one minimum? The 300 minimum. The 300 also it has come to this cell as a BFS. And this side, because 300 and 450, which one minimum? 300 minimum. And 300 present in row, the minimum side, other cell will be vanished. Now this 300 will be subtracted from 450, by which you can get 150. Now this row also completely out. But how many BFS you got? Now this one, this is 2. Now what is the remaining? Now this is the remaining part. Like a northwest corner, northwest corner is 5. 5 corresponding value is 400 here. Here it is 150. Now which one minimum? 150 minimum. So 150 it has come to this place as a BFS. Now it is minimum side. So 9 is out. And this minimum value will be subtracted from maximum side. So 400 minus 150 is 250. Another two you have not used 300, 600, that you can copy here. So here 150 out. What the remaining? 350 and 500. What is the total? 850. Here also this side 850 you can check. And 250, 250 plus 600 remaining 950. Okay, just a minute. There is same thing written. The number of babies to be n plus and minus 1 is 6. The similar way, if you move, finally you'll be getting 6 number of babies. Let me complete it, you can understand it. When 150 were putting here, so this side is out. 150 will be subtracted from 250 for the remaining 100. This side 600 I have not used, and this 600. So here sorry, 150 you have subtract from 400, you got 250, 250, this is 600, this is 850, this is 850. Now again check, northwest corner is 2 corresponding value is 250, 2 corresponding value is 350. Which one minimum? Now 250 minimum, 250 has come to this place. Okay. See, remaining this 2 cross 2 matrix. Northwest corner value is 2 because always looking cost. We are not looking the value of the variable. Or this is automatic, come like the value of the variable. The 2 corresponding supply side or capacity side is 250, demand side is 350. Which are minimum? The 250 minimum. The minimum will come to this cell as a VFS, and minimum side other cell will be vanished, and the minimum value will be subtracted from the maximum. What we are going to get? Let me write. And this 250 out. The 250 is written here. This value is out. Why? Because the minimum side, whether row side or column side, other cell will be out. So here 350 minus 250, it will be 100. Okay. Now this row is completely out. Now the remaining is this portion. I mean 1 row, 2 column. This side written 600. This side 100 plus 500 is 600. Now again northwest corner is 6. Corresponding supply is 600, corresponding demand is 100. Which are minimum? Now 100 minimum. So now 100 out. The minimum side is column side. If there is any value left, that has to be cancelled, but there is no cell left to cancel. Only just you subtract it. 600 minus 100 is 500. Now this is out. Only this cell is present 5. This side 500, this side 500. So directly 500 you write here and put it round mark, or 500 minus 500 will be 0. Now you got 6 number of BFS. Okay. So once you got 6 number of BFS, then you have to find out the value of Z. How to get it? And Z is equal to Cx. So at first cell you got the BFS. The first question is C11 is 4. C1 is 4. So 4 into 400 plus here also you got 6 into 300. So wherever you got VFS, that cost with corresponding value of the x will be multiplied. The finally added, and 5 into 500. The final result will come after addition. You can understand it. Now in some cases like 3, 3, 8, 8, here you have not got any VFS. Then how to interpret this? That is the position of this next 1, 3. I mean 1, 3 position. So you can write x130. I mean here you got x11 is 400. x11 means first row, first column, and the value of x. Here 300 means what? Next 1, 2. First row, second column. is 300. Yes or no? Because this is first row, this is second column. This is called second row, second column. X22, 150. X23, 250. X33, 100. X34, 500. Like this you can write. Now, go for list cost method. Okay, this one is over. Right. Whatever the value comes, x2 to 50, because once the way I have told you to solve it, there the value will come across. And how to get the transaction cost? The corresponding cost with the variable value of the variable has to be multiplied. Finally, you'll be getting the values, z values. Now I can come to list cost method or matrix minima method. What it says? It says that this is a matrix. Now among the whole matrix, which one minimum? Now 1 is minimum. But there are 2, 1, either this one or this one can be considered. Right? Any one you consider, no wrong. And the procedure remains same. Let's go and consider this one. The corresponding supply is capacity is 100. Your requirement is 40. Which one minimum? The 40 is minimum. The 40 will come to this cell as a VFS within a bracket. If this side minimum, other cell will cancel. And 40 will be subtracted from here. 100 minus 40 is 60. And whichever you have not used, that can be copy paste. Now 40 is out. What is the remaining? Now 50, 70, 50, 40. That's it. Now once the column is completely vanished, this column is completely vanished. How? Now one VFS with the other cell cancel. Now among the remaining, again you find out the list cost. List cost means what? Because all these are cost values. The element which are present inside the matrix are called unit transportation cost. The method is a list cost method. Now among this cost, which one minimum? That you have to find out repeatedly. So in this case, the minimum is 1. This corresponding supply is 150. Demand is 50. Which one minimum? 50 minimum. So 50 you have to write here. 50 will be cancelled. 50 will be subtract from 150. It will be 100. 100 plus 60. By default, this side if what? 50 plus 70 plus 40, maybe 160. It cannot change. So slowly you have to come across, right? Right? Right. Now finally, we'll be getting the result, this one. The value will be 2810. After multiplying this cost with the value of the variable, because we'll be getting the values x33, x2 540, x33 450, x2 260, x3 150, 3 to 10, x3 440. Once you get these values, wherever you got the values, that has to, for example, you got x2 540. So you have to check what is C2 5. The C2 5 is, check C2 5. C2 5 is 1. It is not 2, 1, 2, it is factory 2, factory 3. So this is 2, this is 5, the value written 1. So 1 will be multiplied with 40. Written here, x2 5, 40. So x33 you got like this, so the same procedure has to adapt it. Finally we getting 2810, but you have to mention here, it's not written exactly actually, it's rupees. Because always transaction cost is what? The rupees. As you are following Indian currency, this value will what? Na rupees. That what student used to forget. They just write the, after multiplying with addition, they writing the values, but they are forgetting to write the, what is the meaning of this total? Na rupees always. Let's see another example. Consider the transportation problem present in the following tables, like we have a 3 origin and we have a 4 destinations. This side always supply, this side always demand. AI stands for row, so this is row, A1, A2, A3, this is B1, B2, B3, B4. What is the sum of the supply demand? Both sides is equal to 240. 120 plus 70, 190 plus 50, 240. If this side also 240. So clearly it is a balanced transportation problems. But the third method says BHA method. VA method, right? This one. Now I've told you VA method is the best approximation method. Sometimes this VA method can be also said penalty methods. Penalty method. This is also called penalty method. The penalty means what? You have to find out the penalty value, row penalty values, column penalty values. Like if you talk about this one, the question has solve the TP by using VA method. First you have to check whether supply demand equal or not. The supply demand is equal. Okay. When the first row, I mean from this to this, with these 3 rows, 4 column. The first row minimum is what? Now 4. You have to check the element. There is a limit, or you can say unit transfer cost. So you have to find out penalty value row wise, also penalty value by column wise. The first row minimum is 4. Just maximum in this row is 17. What is the difference between these two? 13. The penalty is 13. And second row minimum is 7. Just maximum 9. Just maximum is not near values. In this row, just maximum than 7 is 9. The difference is 2. Written. Now last row, the minimum is 15. Just maximum is 20. What is the difference? In a 5 written. Similarly, column side, minimum is 20. Just maximum is 24. What is the difference? In a 4 written. Here 22. Next maximum is 37. The difference is 15. Sometimes question comes to mind. The minimum value occur more than 1 times, double or triple, then the difference always taken as 0. But here what happened in second column, minimum is, the smallest is 22, just maximum is 37, but 37 occur for 2 times, which has no impact. Because minimum is even 22. So 22, 37 gap is 15, that is written penalty. So here minimum is 9, just maximum is 17, gap is 8. Here 47 gap is 3, 750 gap is, sorry, this is not, this is your capacity. So you have a 3 to 4 column. 3 to 4 column. Now among this 4, 15, 8, 3, 13, 2, 5 row and column penalty whole, which one is highest? 15 is highest. If 15 is highest, always the highest values you consider. So this way you have to consider. Now in this column, which one minimum? 22 minimum. The format remains same. If 22 minimum, what is the corresponding supply? Now 120. What is the corresponding demand? That is 40. Among these two, which one minimum? Now 40 is minimum. If 40 is minimum, that you keep within a bracket, that is called BFS. This 40 will be subtracted from here. 1 minus 1. You have to subtract from 120. What it gives? 90. And the minimum side will be cancel. And minimum side other side also cancel. Tell me, I mean, we can thought of like in this case, how many BFS you can expect? You can expect like 3 plus 4, 7, 7 minus 1, 6 number of BFS you expect. Already got 1. And this column also completely out. Again, you have to find a penalty. The method is penalty method means frequently you have to find out penalty values. When the method name is northwest corner rule, repeatedly you are looking northwest corner. When the method is least cost method, always or frequently you are looking which one is the least cost. Like in first row, which one minimum? Now minimum is 4, just maximum 17. So again you can write 13. Second row minimum is 7, just maximum 9. You can write 2. Here is 15, 20. Yeah, it's 5. Column side here is 4. This column is completely vanished. Here 8. Here 3. Among this, which one highest? The 13 is highest. Now you have to consider this row, first row. Which one minimum? The 4. For a corresponding value is 110. Here it is 120. 120 will go to this cell. The minimum side will go to the cell and will subtract it from the maximum values. Now once you solve it by VA method, right? Then whatever the value comes here, that has to be tested by optimal test, which is called MPOO method. One is MPOO method and one is stepping stone method. Let me show MPOO methods. Let this a question given. After solving, you got some value of z, right? Maybe this is the previous question, no. But anyway, this question given. By using any other method, you can solve it and you can let have any values you got. Now, sorry, clearly it is written. Let by using which method? Matrix minima method or least cost method from this question. You got x11 is 50, x22 60, x25 40. How many BFS you can expect? And the number of rows are 3, number of columns are 5. 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 minus 1, 6. Check 6 number of, sorry, 8 minus 1, 7. 7 number of BFS, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And wherever you got the value is highlighted here. And you know how to use matrix minima method. When you talk about x11 is 50, right? So there is a cost involved, that is C11. C11 means always you have to remember that is E1 plus B1. First row, first column. C12 means first, which is equal to what? What is C11? If you check the question, C11 is 1. Here you got x22 question. I mean you have to write C12. C12 means U1. The first stands for row, second stands for column. So C12 means first row, second column. First row means U1, second column means B2. What is the value? That's C12 question. 9. That you have to write here 9. Like this, you have to go ahead. Same thing written, you can check. Now U1 plus V1 is 1, U2 V2 12, U2 V5 1, U3 V1 14. Like this the values are given. Now again you have to check which row or which column contain highest number of BFS. But here it is second U30 YE. Now U3 has a highly involvement. U3 B1, U3 B2, U3 B3, U3 B4. So third row has a highly involvement. Which has a highly involvement, that row or column you have to assume 0. Why U3 0? Because U3 used many times. Here U3 in this equation. In this equation also U3 are used. In this equation also U3 used. In this equation also U3 used. Why you are taking 0? Because it has a highly involvement. If you take it 0, automatically all these values of UI and Vj will come. For example, you have taken U3 0. Okay. Now here it is given U3 plus B1 14. So if U3 0, what is B1? Now 14. Here U3 plus B2 33. But U3 0. What is B2? Now 33. Written here. U3 plus B3 1. If U3 0, what is B3? Now 1. So once you get some values V1, V3, V2, that put in other equation. So here all the values of UI and Vj will come. In this question, how many rows you have? Now we have a 3 rows. 3 rows means you have to find out E1, U2, U3. You have how many column? Now 4 column. Sorry, 5 column. So you have to find out V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. And it is there. Check E1, E2, E3, V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. Once you get, then see, actually this is called occupied cell. Occupied cell means the cell having BFS. Then you have to find out unoccupied cell. Some cells are there where the BFS not exist. That you have to consider. For example, in this case, like 1 person having BFS, 1-2 position having no BFS. So 1-2 is blank. If 1-2 is blank, you consider this cell. So what you have to find out? Now U1 plus B2 minus C12. Or else you find out C12 minus U1 plus B2. I mean, if you open this, it becomes C12 minus E1 minus B2. Check the slide, you can understand. C12 minus C1 minus V2. C12 is given in the question. C12 is 9. C12 is 9. And U1 V2, U1 you found out like U1 is minus 13, V2 is 33, so you are getting minus 11. Like this, all these values wherever the BFS node exists, that is called NBFS, non-basic feasible solution. See, you are getting negative like this. Wherever you got positive values, from that you have to draw a loop. You have to draw a loop. How to draw it? This way you have to draw. Always the loop will come form of even number of vertices, either in rectangle form or in square form or in this way L-shaped, or else in this format also will be waiting in this way, right? So wherever you got the positive values, from that the loop starts, and where will start, like for example you are starting from this, it will be plus theta, this will be minus theta, plus theta, minus theta. Then you have to find out minimum negative theta side. Minimum negative theta side. And negative theta side values will be subtracted from negative side, will be added in the positive sides. The same way again you have to find out same procedure for occupied cell, for unoccupied cell. Again you have to find out UI Vj. Again you have to go for unoccupied. So unless you are not getting the all the unoccupied cell values, I mean Cij minus Ui minus Bj, once you get negative 0, all are negative 0, then your optimum solution exists. Now check, end of this, you got the value of Z is 2700. But earlier it was by using matrix minima method 2810 to able to minimize it. That is why this is called optimal test. Optimal test means by the help of this test, we are able to minimize the total cost. Any other method you have adopted, what the Z value come, by using optimal test, either Modi methods or by stepping stone methods, we are able to minimize it. But from the beginning, let you got all the values of Cij minus Ui Vj, all are negative. Then already optimal solution exists, no need to go further. So this is all about Modi method. Stepping stone method remains same, but here the procedure is you have to go to graphical ways. That is, we always row column ways methods. This is graph ways you have to solve. And this is all about. Thank you.